and welcome to the Evolve with Emily show YouTube channel. The best way to support the show on this YouTube channel is to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and or share it with a friend. I hope that you guys enjoy this episode in whichever way you choose to support the show. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. I hope that today's message and episode brings some bit of positive change to your life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I am your host, Emily Hayden, and today we are going to discuss healing. I'm going to talk about healing from 3 different avenues or standpoints: the body, the mind, and also the spirit, because I really do believe that everything works all together. So if you guys don't know, I injured myself about 5 weeks ago, and I've been on my own healing journey. And so I have been able to use this experience to share with you guys what has really been helping me. I'm finally coming out of that. I'm feeling so much better. I've had 3 successful, really good training sessions this week, and I can tell that I'm without pain now. And I'm not 100%. I know that, and I know that I'm getting there. But I just had such a shift in my healing journey, and I wanted to share with you guys what that has been, because I believe that it will really help you wherever you're at in your journey. So let's go ahead and start with the very practical standpoint and talk about the body in general. So I did a few different things that I feel really helped. I went to multiple doctors, and here's the thing: when you are dealing with something within your body and you feel that you are still not getting either the results that you're looking for, you feel like something's not helping, no matter what it is, listen to yourself and listen to your intuition and keep going until you find something that feels right for you, something that you feel is really going to work for you. So I went to a chiropractor, I went to multiple chiropractors, I went to a few different bodywork specialists, I went to a physical therapist, and I finally found a physical therapist that I feel I just worked really well with, but also who was very advanced in their technology and in their body work especially. And for me, again, I had to go through like 3 or 4 different people in order to finally find this clinic. And honestly, the first time that I was there, just from the assessment that they were doing with me, the advanced technology and machines that they had, I was like, I knew it. I was like, okay, this is it, because this is a practice and a clinic that truly has evolved with the times. And, you know, they're advanced in a lot of the things that they do and practice. And I just intuitively knew, I was like, this is the spot for me. So I really encourage you guys to make sure that whether it's body work or a doctor or whoever it is, go with the one that you know, like, feels good from the inside out, right? It's not just, do they look good on paper? Do they have all of the degrees and whatever? But which one do you feel is really listening to you, really working with you, and really there to help you recover and get better and heal? So I did that, and as well as the homework. Okay. So usually when you have some sort of injury, they give you homework, whether it's PT exercises or, you know, whatever it is. And I found, bright idea, Emily, that when I was really consistent with my physical therapy work, I really started to improve. And, you know, it's hard whenever you are injured, especially when it's like some sort of physical injury. It can be difficult to get yourself to do these exercises because everything sucks and nothing feels good and you're not getting that relief just yet. But I just really want to encourage you guys that if you are dealing with some sort of injury or something, to do your physical therapy work, do the exercises. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. They don't recommend those things for no reason. It really does work. Mine, by the way, we believe that it was a little bit of a slipped disc. Which is why I was having so many symptoms and it was really painful. And, you know, I was told by multiple people, like, your body can put this disc back where it belongs. You can heal from this naturally. But you do need to do these exercises. You do need to make sure you stay regular with adjustments and body work and such. So it definitely helped for me just staying on top of my PT work, as well as foam rolling and stretching more than I ever have in my entire life. So guys, all the little things that you don't want to do, your PT homework, your stretching, your foam rolling, taking it easy, listening to your body, all the things that might seem opposite to what your normal inclination is. Another thing practically that I did for my body was I took BPC 157. BPC is composed of 15 amino acids, and it's a body protection compound. And basically what it does is it's good for tendon healing, decrease in pain, increase in collagen synthesis, quicker recovery time post-injury, wound and bone healing, decreases inflammation, intestinal issues, protects the heart, and a bunch of other things. BPC 157 is a peptide, and it's something that I get from Transcend. And Transcend is the company that's been helping me with my hormones and balancing that out. But they also have peptides for so many different things, so many different purposes. And I actually was already taking BPC 157, but what we did is we actually doubled up in my dosage for this time. Once I got injured, they were like, all right, we're going to send you some more. Let's double up on this. Because it really can help to decrease that time from injury to being recovered. And I feel like the time that we started doubling up, it was not too long after that I started being like, wow, I'm actually really healing. And again, I really attribute my healing to body, mind, and soul, everything that I did. But I did want to share with you guys that this product is something that is incredible for healing. I know people that are using it to heal from so many different things. So if you are dealing with some sort of injury, definitely look up BPC 157, do all of your own research. And if you need somewhere to get it from, then you can go through Transcend. I'll have a link down below, and you guys can fill out an application and, balance out any hormones you need to balance out if that's the case. Or if you're just looking for something for healing and growth and recovery, then this would be a really great option for you. So that is what I practically did for my body. Now, moving into the mind, this one gets me so excited, and I'm about to nerd out hard with you guys. So at the same time, I had just been told about a book by my good friend Stormy Knight on First Form. Shout out Stormy, I love you. And she told me about this book called Evolve Your Brain. So on brand for me, right? And it's written by Joe Dispenza. It's one of his older books. So, he's very well known now. And I feel like a lot of his newer books are, more talked about. And this one I hadn't really heard much about. But, Stormy told me just the smallest bit about it. And I was like, I literally ordered the book at dinner while I was at dinner. And guys, within the first page and a half, I was literally hooked from this book, because it tells you what happens inside of your body from a chemical standpoint, hormone standpoint, everything standpoint, what happens every single time you think a singular thought. So I purchased it for that reason. I didn't know that the very first portion of the book was actually going to go into speaking about healing. And so, we always talk about, especially on this podcast, about your mindset and how powerful your mind is, and how, the thoughts that you allow to circulate inside of your brain and that you speak, those really do become your reality. But this book literally gives a scientific approach as to why all of those things are actually true. So in the beginning of the book, Joe Dispenza shares how he was racing in a triathlon and he was hit by a car going 55 miles per hour. So he's racing on a bike and gets hit by a car. Long story short, the diagnosis was multiple compression fractures of the thoracic spine with T8 vertebrae more than 60% collapsed. His first thought when he heard his diagnosis was, it could be worse. I could have severed my spinal cord, been paralyzed, or dead. Now, who hears that their vertebrae is more than 60% collapsed and just thinks immediately, could have been worse? So I think that right there already shows where his mindset was already at. But the normal solution for this is complete thoracic and rod surgery, inserting a rod either 8 to 12 inches from the base of the neck to the base of the spine. He knew on some level that his body could heal itself. He was really into the natural side and holistic side of medicine. He's a chiropractor himself. But he refused surgery, and the doctors labeled him mentally unstable due to his accident. They tried to call his dad or something, saying hey, your son is mentally unstable because of this accident. He is dealing with trauma. He's not thinking clearly. He needs to get this surgery. But what he ultimately decided to do was he decided to try to heal himself. He decided that he would make a deal with himself. If his body was able to heal, he would devote a large part of his life to studying the phenomena of mind versus matter and how consciousness creates reality. So he started studying miracles, and he started studying groups of people who were able to all of a sudden heal themselves. And what he did was he found four different coincidences between all the people that were able to heal themselves. And so I want to get into it. Hold on. I'm trying to find this part in the book. Okay. So he started studying the nature of miracles, and he found 4 different pillars of healing that really were just congruent across everyone who was able to heal themselves. And before I share this, he was very good in his select group, meaning there were a bunch of factors that were not consistent among the people that studied themselves. Not all of them practiced the same religion, and a lot of them had no religious affiliation. Not many at all had background as priest, rabbi, minister, nun, or any spiritual profession. They were not New Agers. Only some of them prayed to specific religious being or leaders. They varied by age, gender, race, creed, culture, education status, profession. So it was a very wide range group of people, and they did not live and believe and think the same in their lives. However, he did find 4 coincidences. The very first coincidence was that an innate higher intelligence gives us life and can heal the body. He said that the people I spoke with who experienced a spontaneous remission believed that a higher order or higher intelligence lived within him or her. Whether they called it their divine, spiritual, or subconscious mind, they accepted that an inner power was giving them life every moment and that it knew more than they, and as humans, we could never know. So they just believed in this higher intelligence, and they would tap into this higher energy, intelligence, spirit, God, whatever it is that they believed. And it was different per person based on their beliefs and religious background and such. But they believed that there was life and healing force within. And they were able to tap into that through different things like meditation or breath work and different modalities that allowed them to focus on the healing power that was already within them. The second coincidence that he found is that they really did believe that thoughts are real and thoughts directly affect the body. So the way we think affects our body as well as our life. You may have heard this concept expressed before in various ways. For example, mind over matter. But the people he interviewed not only shared this belief, but also used it as a basis for making conscious changes in their own body, mind, and personal life. So he started to study the research and relationship between thought and the physical body. And he really did find that thought directly affects the physical body. So when people say like where you put your focus on, that you create more of that, it's so true. He even gave an example in the book how when you focus on your pain, for example, you're going throughout your day, and me with my back pain, I focus on the back pain. My brain literally sends signals to my back pain. Therefore, I experience more back pain. However, if I were to switch my focus and I were to say things like, I am healed, I am healed, I am healed, and I imagine my body healing my body, no, it's not going to take away all the pain instantly. It's not this like magical thing, but I switch my focus into where it is that I'm going and where I actually believe my body can take itself. So it's really refocusing your thoughts and switching your thoughts from focusing on the thing that you don't want, which is creating more of it, to focusing on the thing that you do want, which in this case is healing. Now, coincidence number 3 is they all believed we can reinvent ourselves. What was really important here was what if questions that they asked themselves, like this. What if I stop being unhappy, self-centered, suffering person, and how can I change? What if I no longer worry or feel guilty or hold grudges? What if I begin to tell the truth to myself and to others? Those what if questions led them to other questions. Which people do I know who are usually happy, and how do they behave? Which historical figures do I admire as noble and unique? How could I be like them? What would I have to say, do, think, and act like in order to present myself differently to the world? What do I want to change about myself? So they all believed that changing their thoughts, patterns, consistent beliefs, they believed it to be possible, which because of that belief, because of those questions, led them to figure out how they could start actually practicing who it is that they wanted to be, what it is that they wanted to believe in their lives, what kind of vision they believed could be true for their lives. And they started practicing that out in real ways. Coincidence number 4, we are capable of paying attention so well that we can lose track of relative space and time. So they really learned how to essentially imagine. And when you're in this place of being in a vision or imagining, or people, call it like meditation or vision work or whatever it is, you don't associate with who you are in the current moment. So you forget about being you forget about being self, and you kind of become like nothing and no one in that moment because your thoughts and your consciousness is in a different place. So people would learn in these moments how to become what they were imagining. Your body doesn't know the difference between something that you're just thinking as a thought and an experience that you're actually having, because thoughts are real to your brain. So I think when you realize that, it actually gives you so much power to recognize where your thoughts currently are and decide where you're going to put them. And long story short, with all of this, the doctors told him that he would not be able to walk if he didn't get this surgery, that this was like the end of him, and that surgery was the only way. And the last doctor offered him 2 surgeries. And end of the story is that he ended up literally healing himself. He spent a ton of time in meditation and envisioning his body. He said that he would literally envision his body healing each and every vertebrae. He would imagine this healing source working through his entire body. So the way this relates to me personally is I literally got this book right after injuring myself, and I start reading this book, and my brain just like, it makes sense because it gives me the science behind everything that I've always believed and felt and known. And I didn't really know exactly why all of it was true. Like I didn't really know why, if you practice certain thoughts, seek to change your behavior, break your unconscious patterns, why it would literally change your life. I didn't know the science. And now I feel like this gives me like the science and the proof. So it reinvigorated that knowing for me. And in that, I will tell you honestly, I injured myself, and I'm, trying to be positive about it. But then I get a few weeks in and I start to feel discouraged. I start to feel disheartened. And here's the thing. It can be really easy to throw a pity party. It can be really easy to fall into victim mentality and to be kind of, ungrateful, I guess, because I felt moments of that, honestly. And it's not like, I don't feel proud to say that, but I did. I felt moments of like, God, this sucks. Like all I want to do is train hard. Like I love training. I want to move my body and to do, hardcore things. Cause like, that's how I feel my best. Like I just want to be myself. Right. And I felt so limited, and it was so frustrating. But what I had to do first and foremost, and I did pretty immediately, was ground myself in gratitude, right? I had to remind myself, hey, you're complaining about a back injury that, number one, isn't even that bad, right? Like they're not telling you have to get surgery. Number 2, I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, I have a fully functioning body. Yeah, at this moment in time, it's not functioning, and I'm very limited in what I can do. Even driving like hurts so bad, right? Like I was experiencing real pain. I was limited so much, but I couldn't allow my mind to stay there and to dig the hole deeper. So that's the thing, guys. You're not denying your reality. You are acknowledging it, and then you're deciding which direction you want to go. Either you can dig that hole deeper and tell yourself all the reasons why you can't, tell yourself all the reasons why you're limited, tell yourself all the reasons why it sucks. Or you can acknowledge it and say, okay, this is the day, this is the moment that I change and I start going in a new direction. Yeah, I feel like crap, but you know what? I'm getting better every single day. So I started reading this, and I started affirming to myself every single day, I am healed. And I started not just affirming it, but like I believed it. Like I believed it from my heart that I am healed. And now I'm simply just walking the path to my healing. It's already there and it already exists. I'm just walking that out every day. So today I'm going to do my PT homework. I'm going to, stretch and foam roll. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take my BPC 157. I'm going to put my mind in the right spot. Like I'm doing the necessary habits that I know lead to my healing. So this is the mind portion of this. And again, I just believe that these all work together. Now, the last one is the spirit. I have a faith, right? And I share that with you guys pretty openly. And here's the thing. I know the healer, right? So like all over throughout God's word, it says that God is healer, that Jesus is healer. And these things are not just empty statements. They're actual promises. And what's cool is when you know God and you have a relationship with God, you can hold him to his promises because God follows through every single time. So I'll share a few verses real quick that I found that were on healing. Mark 9:23. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Mark 10:52. Go, said Jesus, your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. Next one, Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Psalm 107:20. He sent out his word and it healed them. He rescued them from the grave. 2 Kings 25. This is what the Lord, the God of your father David says. I have heard your prayer and seen your tears, and I will heal you. These are all promises literally directly from God that he will heal us, that he is our healer. And here's the thing, if you notice, it's crazy to me. In the Bible, it's like everybody from science, from personal development, from all these other things, they take all of these principles from the Bible and they kind of say it in their own way, right? Like right here it says, let's see, which one was it? A crushed spirit dries up the bones, but a cheerful heart is good medicine. So that's kind of the same thing that we were saying in the mind section, right? Where it's like, if you focus on being crushed, being disheartened, having that victim mentality, like that's all you're going to create more of. But if you have a cheerful heart, if you have a believing heart, right? Over there, it said like, by your faith, you are healed. By your faith, you are healed. So you have to realize that healing exists for us. That is our promise. So if you're somebody of faith, I would say to set your eyes on the promises of God, not on what it is that your current circumstances are giving you. Just understand and view it as such. They are current circumstances. And guys, you never know why we go through certain things, right? Like I know for me, that made me slow way down and I didn't want to be slowed down, right? Like I want to be training hard as hell 5 to 7 times a week at my pleasure, right? Like it's what I love to do, but it made me slow down. It made me get deep into this book and it made me go down this healing journey. Maybe it's so that I could make this podcast. I don't know, guys, or maybe it was just so that I could have some more slow one-on-one time, in my faith. I don't know exactly why the reason it was that happened, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And so when I start to go through certain things, especially things that I don't enjoy and I don't like, instead of focusing on like, this sucks and dragging my feet and I don't like this and take this away from me, I'm like, okay, don't take it. It's here. Like it's here for a reason. So don't take it away from me, but let me learn everything that I'm supposed to learn in this moment from this experience. And I really do believe that every experience in our life will shape, mold, and develop us into a better version of ourselves. I actually believe that this injury made me a better version of myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I believe that what I gained out of these last 5 weeks or so is actually making me so much better moving forward. And I feel like moving forward, I'm just going to be such a better, polished version of myself. And here's the thing, I have so much to learn in every area of life. I feel like a baby in every single area, body, mind, spirit, faith, everything, right? But I'm so eager. I'm so eager to learn. And my heart believes, right? I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to experience. My heart believes in the good, in the healing, in the fact that everything is used together for good. And I feel like anytime you guys are going through some sort of injury, or it could even, maybe it's not a physical injury, maybe it's like an emotional injury, or it's a heartache, or whatever it is, look at your body, mind, and your spirit and get all of those things in alignment. And that's the thing, guys. I don't think it's one answer. You know what I mean? I don't think you can just take BPC 157 by itself and have a horrible mindset, have no faith, don't believe that healing's for you, and not take care of your body, not do what you're supposed to do and heal. I don't really believe that you can just focus on like, I'm getting healed, but you're not like physically taking anything. You're not physically doing your exercises. You're not believing with your heart that you are healed, right? I really do believe that it is a holistic, all around answer that everything needs to be in alignment. And here's what I do know to be true, though. The only one that I would say can exist without the others is simply a faith and a knowing in God that he is healer, because I know personal accounts of God literally healing on the spot. And, sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't happen, and we don't really know why it does or doesn't. I'll say I've actually experienced it myself, and that's why I said that. I've experienced literal instant healing from an injury that I had, and then I've experienced an injury like this where it was quite a process. But I noticed in this healing process that there was a point where I wasn't having the mind of belief, and I wasn't having the mind of I am healed. So I really had to make that shift. And I think I needed that, right? Like if you just get it instant, that's awesome. And it's an amazing story and testimony for those that are open to hearing about something like that or believe in something like that. But when you have to go through the process of it all, it builds your faith in a different way. It even makes me think about like the hard things that we go through in life, right? The hard seasons of life. Sometimes we're just praying like, God, take it all away. Like, please just take this away. I don't want to deal with this, right? But he may be sitting there being like, you actually need this process. You need the process of walking through this really difficult thing, because I promise you it's going to make you so much better. And you won't be able to see it when you're in it, but when you are coming out of it, when you're out of it, you can look back with perspective and say, I understand now why I had to go through that. I understand now why it couldn't just be taken away in a moment. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully this helps you in your own healing journey. Again, I believe you have to get body, mind, soul all on the same page, all in alignment. And I believe that when you do that, you will experience healing. So go and be healed. I believe it for you guys, but you got to believe it for yourself too. That is going to wrap up today's episode of Evolve with Emily. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this episode, or if you know somebody that needs healing, or if you know somebody that's struggling in their mind, body, spirit, maybe it's not even a physical or mental or emotional healing. Maybe it's just they don't have these things in alignment at all, and they need something to like kickstart that desire, that eagerness to get in alignment on all levels of their life. Then send this podcast to them. Do me a favor, rate and review the show if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys in the next episode of Evolve with Emily. Thanks, guys.